Do you love reading books? Do you want to read but you aren't sure if it's a good one? Or do you need to submit a book report to your English teacher but don't know how to do it? Here's a book report sample. In this video, we'll have a book report of Isabel and her colores go to school. The first part of the book report is the book information. Here you will find the author, illustrator, number of pages, and a brief description of the book. Let's start with the author. The author of this book is Alexandra Alessandri, and the illustrator is Courtney Dawson, and the number of pages is 40. Here is a comment and a description from Emily Brush to give you an idea what's the book about. This first day of school story beautifully serves as a mirror for children learning English and as a window into their experience for their classmates. Verdict, a bilingual story sure to resonate with ELL students and instill empathy in their classmates. And for us to understand better the book and its story, we have here the vocabulary words. First we have pitter patter. This means a sound like that of quick light steps or taps. Another we have whine. This means give or make a long, high-pitched complaining cry or sound. Usually babies do this when they throw tantrums. Next is wibble wobble, to tremble lightly. Another is napkin, a square piece of cloth or paper used at a meal to wipe the fingers or lips when you're dirty. Another is dribble down, drops down slowly or flows in a thin stream. Next is clutterhead, times when our mind has too many thoughts, which makes it difficult to process and focus. And the last vocabulary words are echo, be repeated or reverberate after the original sound has stopped, and freeze, to stop suddenly and become completely still. And lastly, collide, especially of moving objects, to hit something violently. Another part is the setting. It is the time and place or when and where of the story. The story started at her house or at Isabel's house a night before the first day of school, and the rest of the story happened at school in her classroom with her classmates. Another part of the book report is the characters in the story. Here you need to describe the characters and their role in the story. First we have Isabel. She's the main character in the story. She's a young and talented girl. She loves drawing and coloring, but she doesn't speak English. That's why she's worried on her first day of school. Next is Mommy. She's Isabel's mom and she's super supportive. She encourages Isabel, especially on her first day of school. And we have Miss Page. She's Isabel's teacher. She teaches English and makes lesson fun and understandable for Isabel. She also complimented her because of her artistic drawings. And lastly, we have Sarah. She's one of Isabel's classmates. She's nice and tries to make friends with Isabel, even though there is a language barrier. And next is the plot summary. It is one of the most important parts in a book report. Here, you just need to give a brief description of the story, but you don't need to give your opinion or discuss further information or the details of the story. Here is the plot summary of Isabel and her colores go to school. This story is about Isabel and her first day at school. She didn't speak English, that's why she had a lot of worries. She just wanted to stay home because she was afraid that she wouldn't understand her teacher and her classmates, or she might sound weird. But her mommy told her that to bad times a good face and encouraged her to go. At school, she met her teacher and classmates. She was nervous and didn't know what to do, but tried her best to follow her teacher's instructions, and copied what her classmates were doing. All was well until the time when Sarah, her classmate, tried to talk to her. She panicked and got nervous because she didn't understand what Sarah said to her. Sarah wanted to be friends with Isabel, but because Isabel didn't speak English, she didn't know how to respond to Sarah. Sarah was hurt, and so was Isabel. Because of this, she didn't want to go to school. She thought it's not fun because she struggled to understand her teacher, the lessons, and her classmates. Even though it was challenging for her, there were things that she still understands, and there were ways she could express herself. So during art class, she tried to make meaning out of the English words that her teacher said and connect them to her native language. And she drew her masterpiece and showed it to Sarah. Then she remembered what her mommy told her: two bad times, a good fight. And when her teacher saw the drawing, she showed it to the class. Now, Isabel was able to communicate to Sarah through her drawings and realized that school was not so bad after all. And the last part in the book report is the evaluation with conclusion. Here, you will need to say if you like the story or not, or if you would like to suggest it to others. And now, here is my evaluation with conclusion to the story Isabel and her colores go to school. It is a good book to read, especially before the first day of school. It explains how kids get nervous, especially those immigrant kids. They do a lot of adjustments in making friends and the language. In this book, the writer clearly showed Isabel's emotions and feelings for the readers to relate to her. And in the end, we can use other forms of communication without using words like what Isabel did. Now you can use this as your guide in making book reports. And for more book reports, don't forget to subscribe. Let's meet again in our next story.